My father never posed any pressure on me. Don't go, or why are you going? Nothing. So it was in Chennai, Egmore railway station. I went to drop him. So in the platform, I looked at him and I said, when you come back home, I won't be there. So he just said, go. It's a good attempt. Not all people attempt this. You go. In case you find it hard, come back, I'll be there.
Oh.
Like there's one bike in the front and then there are two bikes, his car and two more bikes. So 5 or 7 youngsters, I think. Okay. We said, we will do this.
How cute.
So we went and approached our trustees and committee. They said, nothing doing, don't do all this. We decided we'll do it. So we wore a white t-shirt, a blue jean, orange scarf, orange flag on the bike, and a black helmet.
Oh.
This was our uniform. We went there and we received him. As his car left the airport, we took the positions, whatever we planned. 7 bikes and his car is in between, and we breezed through the city. And it's like people don't even know. The motorcycles had lights on, and before the police could realize, anybody could realize we were passing through, and it was all home flags. So they were like, through, we breezed through. So when we reached, he liked it. He said, you guys are smart. And that was it. Like I said, when he said, you guys are smart, all those people who said earlier, don't, they were like, hurry, he liked it. Okay. He knew we were a bunch of quite crazy youngsters. And that was our passion. He allowed us to hang around him with that passion.
नमस्कार। अगर भारतीय संस्कृति और हमारी महान सभ्यता अगर आज तक संरक्षित है, टिकी है, तो वो कुछ ऐसे महापुरुषों और ऐसे महान लोगों की वजह से जो पर्दे के पीछे से चुपचाप शांति से अथक परिश्रम से कर्तव्यनिष्ठ होके अपने कर्तव्य का निर्वाह करते हैं और अपना काम करते हैं इस दिशा में, जिससे कि आने वाली पीढ़ियां भी उससे लाभान्वित हों। ऐसे महान कार्य करने वाले कुछ वो लोग हैं जो भारत की ही एक बहुत ही महान परंपरा से हैं, और वो है गुरु शिष्य परंपरा। प्राच्यम की द चेंज मेकर सीरीज़ में आज इसी महान परंपरा के संवाहक हमारे साथ हैं बहुत ही महान गुरुदेव स्वामी चिन्मयानंद के शिष्य स्वामी मित्रानंद जी। हम बहुत हृदय से स्वामी जी का स्वागत करते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद स्वामी जी, आभार। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग टू प्राच्यम स्टूडियोज। स्वामी जी, since I started this Changemaker show, the podcast show, your name had been there on my top priority list. And I had been so much wanting to invite you, and I even talked to you a couple of times, but you were so busy. But finally, my prayers were heard, and it was this divine grace that you were free during this time and you could come from Chennai. So thank you so much for that. Swamiji, before we proceed further with this podcast, I may request you to just tell me in short, in your own words, who is Swami Mitranand?
First, thank you for having me here. And I feel really bad that I could not come earlier. For someone working for this same cause, see, we both are working for the same cause.
Gee.
The approaches are different. But the workload was such that I could not come earlier. But I'm glad, absolutely glad that I have come here. It'll be nice if I tell you more about my Guru than about myself.
Oh, nice, Swamiji. A true disciple, I know, only talks about his Guru. Please tell me about Gurudev.
Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji, he was earlier known as Balakrishna Menon, born in Kerala. He grew up in Kerala and turned out to become a non-believer, and was highly educated person. Like he did physics in his college, and then he did masters in English literature and also LLB. That he moved out of Kerala and studied English and LLB in Lucknow. At that time in Lucknow, I think probably he chose to go to Lucknow because the revolutionary movement was at its peak. Chandrasekhar Azad all came up and they went underground. The Socialist Party went underground, and Balakrishna Menon was heading the Socialist Party underground. So when he was in the Lucknow University, he was deeply involved in the freedom movement. And the Britishers were after him, and they've given arrest warrant. So to escape, he moved to Abbottabad, which is now part of POK. And there he worked under the British intelligence.
I've heard of this, yeah.
Yes. And
how brilliant.
Now imagine, look at the person's vision that he went there and he worked under the British intelligence and they were searching for him. And he would see those messages that these guys are after me, okay. But he chose to work, but then they finally got to know. He escaped, but somewhere he was caught and he was jailed. And obviously, in jail, people treat such young revolutionaries very badly. So his health got a beating. And he was a college leader and big, well-known person at that time. They did not want him to have one more custodial death. They thought he's going to die, and they chucked him out of the jail. Went and dropped him in the middle of the road.
Oh.
Because they did not want one death, and they erased the records immediately. That such a person we never arrested.
Oh.
So he was picked up by one woman of Christian faith, because he looked a bit like her son, who died in the Second World War. So she had that, and she picked him up and nursed, and that's how Balakrishna Menon recovered. And then he got back and he worked for National Herald. And all the while he was a non-believer, very nationalistic non-believer. So he went to write a story about sannyasis. And the story he wanted to write was sannyasis are like a leech on the society, suckers. That's the story he wanted to write. So he chose to target Swami Shivananda of Divine Life Society, who was well known by then. But then, Swami Shivanandaji went to World Parliament of Religion somewhere in 35, 40. So he was very well known of his time. And so Balakrishna Menon decided that I'll target him, take on him. And so he got an appointment to write a story on him, saying how these guys are wasting their time. So he went to Rishikesh and met Swami Shivanandaji. And he said, I have a lot of questions. He said, you stay here. There's a difference between a quest and a question. Question comes from quest. If you have a quest, I would suggest you stay here. So he was shocked, and then he stayed. They had a lot of conversations and dialogues and discussions, questions. The atheist slowly started appreciating, because he was atheist, genuinely, non-believer. When the right answers started coming, he accepted them. So he started believing, and then he found Sanatan Dharma, Advaita philosophy, is the philosophy of our times, and it has answers for everything. Be it questions on physics or be it questions on ethics, he found his answers. He was fascinated in the presence of Swami Shivanandaji. So after 6 months or so, he stayed. First he went to do a story for 2 days, but he stayed back. And then he asked Swami Shivanandaji, I want to take sannyas, I don't want to go back. Swami Shivanandaji said, no, you go back, you're not ready for this, all that, you go back. So he went there, and Shivanandaji said, come back after 2 years. But he could not wait for 2 years. He just went back and said, I'm done. Give me sannyas. And that's how a non-believer, a nationalist, became Swami Chinmayananda. On Shivaratri 1949, he was initiated into sannyas. And then Shivanandaji sent him to another teacher up in the Himalayas in Uttarakasi by name Swami Tapovan Maharaj. So he studied under Swami Tapovan Maharaj for some time. So that way he had someone initiating him into sannyas, Diksha, and someone taught him a couple of Upanishads. So with the blessings of these two people, he came down and he started his work from Pune. When he started, there were 4 people who were there for his first lecture. Something similar to Buddha. Buddha had 5 people, I think. So he started and 4 people were there, but then slowly it picked up. His first talk was for 100 days. And he was doing Kyan Upanishad. And from there, people were inspired because he spoke in a language which we were familiar with, and he was talking in English. So people could connect at that time. The educated masses could connect with him. And from there, he went to Chennai, Madras at that time. And in 1953, this was in 1951, his first talk in Pune was in 1951. In 1953, when he came to Madras, Chinmaya Mission was formed. It was started in Chennai as an organization. So the first 2 years he was doing as an individual, now it became an organization, and we are almost 75 years. 2026 Chinmaya movement would be 75 years. We have 300 plus centers around the world, 8 colleges, 100 schools, 1 university. And the best vision of Swami Chinmayanand is, I would be comfortable calling him as Gurudev.
Yes.
So I'll continue
absolutely,
that way. Yeah.
Yes.
So Gurudev vision was all age groups should have connection to Sanatan Dharma and Advaita philosophy. All age groups. So he started classes for children. Today we have classes for toddlers. Then we have classes for the children. We have classes for teenagers. We have classes for young adults. We have classes for middle-aged, classes for mothers and senior citizens. So all age groups of the humanity, Chinmaya Mission caters to. This is about him. And my mom and dad were his devotee even before I was born. So I came into this movement as some devotee's child. They were his followers already. So I was born in the family who were following. So my path was quite easy that way. There was no much difficulty even when I expressed I want to go and join the monastery. My father was okay with it. And so since they were already devotees.
Very interesting. When did this thought came to your mind that even you want to take up sannyas and you would also become a disciple of Gurudev?
When I was a child, as Shankara says, Balastavad krida saktaha, means as a child you are attached to play. You like playing. And attached to games, sports, that was my interest was more there. But whenever Gurudev used to come to Madras for lectures, those days the lectures were almost for 10 days. I'm talking about early 70s. The lectures would be almost for 10 days. And my parents both, my mom and dad were his devotees, they'll take me. At the age of 7, 8, you go and sit for a Gita lecture. You understand nothing. And 10 days of your games are gone. And Gurudev was such a wonderful teacher that he doesn't like people moving when he speaks. Disturbance. So my mother would hold me tight and make me sit. And now really speaking, that was a torture. You can't sit there as an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old and keep looking at a person. He speaks, people around you are all happy, laughing, listening, all are, and you can see it, but you understand nothing. And so that way it will be like when he comes to town, it will be like gone now. Because, they can't leave you alone at home and go away, so they'll take me. I had an elder sister, she was more comfortable, she could understand Swamiji much better. So I grew up and I drifted off because of this forcing. I drifted off from Balvihar and all that. Then at some point I was pulled once again. That was on my sister's insistence. I went to meet Gurudev and I had some questions like what God, why God, what do you pray for? And he said, he was such a jovial teacher, so empathetic. And he said, if you're serious about your questions, come to Siddhabari. That is in Himachal Pradesh. We have an ashram. He said, I have a camp, you come there, you have questions, you find out. So my sister was very keen that this discussion happened, and he called, and my parents were more than happy to send me there. Just go to Siddhabari to attend a camp. So that's when I started appreciating what he was talking. Now I could connect with the Vedantic ideas. So somewhere when I was in my university, second year college or so, I was more or less convinced that what he speaks makes sense, and a personality like him, like Gurudev, Shrotriya Brahmanishta, that's the qualification you give for a perfect teacher. The Upanishad says, a perfect teacher is someone who is Shrotriya, who is well versed in Shastra, who could articulate the Shastras well, and also Brahmanishta, well established in the higher. So, to be in a presence of such a person is fascinating, and what comes out of him is unconditional love. He was more interested in my progress than me. Now that's what a teacher does. When he looks at a student, he is more interested in the student's unfoldment than the student himself. So when someone can shower you with that kind of affection, love, in the purest form, I have tasted it. In the purest form, I've tasted sacrifice from my parents. And love, of course, but the love from a teacher expecting nothing from you is something very different. When I felt that kind of an affection and love, then somewhere that call was deeper in me, saying, I must be with this man, should follow him, should help on what his mission is. So that call became deeper, more from Guru Bhakti than from quest for truth. That was my positioning. Because I met him, I met this enlightened Shrotriya Brahmanishta around. So the call was more like I should be with him, do his work, because I think love knows only to give. That's what love is. So mine was more from Guru Bhakti, I went to join the monastery, then from quest to know the truth. But eventually the Guru Bhakti and the Shastra study puts you on a quest to know what that higher reality is. So this actually complemented, blended, fixed my mind directly. What I learned from my Guru is Guru Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, and purify yourself by serving Sanatana Dharma. So Dharma Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, and Guru Bhakti, Gurudeva Bhakti. Yeah.
Beautiful. Even I have been very, very blessed to taste this pure love. And I always say that there cannot be a purer form of love than what a Guru has for his own Shishya. You know, it's pure, you know, absolutely, completely pure, you know. And that's how I think the grace of the Guru, you know, from there it starts. So what was your age, you know, when you started, you know, following, you know?
Intensely looking at him, I must have been 18, 19, 20. By 23, I went and joined the monastery. And what is more important here, like the Guru Bhakti or the Guru-Shishya relationship is absolutely fascinating, but we should understand that a teacher is one who would make the student independent. That's one of the hallmarks of the teacher. Teacher is not one who will hoard the students to himself. So Gurudev was one such person. He made sure that we are independent, not dependent on him. Neither was he holding on to us, you know, expanding his membership or, you know, expanding his tribe. His job was to make sure that you become independent. So the beauty of Guru-Shishya relationship in the true sense is that the teacher should make the student non-dependent. And Gurudev himself used to say that, I am only a pointer, not the pointed. How beautiful and powerful is this line. I am only a pointer, not the pointed. Don't mistake me as the pointed. If you watch a pointer, you have to move with the pointer. There comes a point when you have to leave the pointer and go in that direction. Then you see possibility. You may perhaps see it. If you're fascinated by the pointer, then you never see the pointed. So he made sure that, and that kind of a teacher, I think in this world is very, very rare. I've seen, like I've traveled this path for a very long time, met many, many people. I think those kind of teachers are rare, who makes the student completely independent.
True. So was there any defining moment which led you to take this decision of taking up the monastic order?
I attended a couple of marathon camps. Gurudev used to conduct marathon camps, and these camps used to be in Himalayas, Sadabari, foothills of Dauladar range of mountains. So it was, the global warming and all that was not there. So Himalayas were at its best 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. So when I used to go there, 84, 85, to attend these camps, I did attend one Gita camp for 2 weeks in 86, I think. And then there was one more camp, Viveka Chudamani. This was in 88. And this camp was for 45 days. Now you sit with a Shrotriya Brahmanishta for 45 days. And he knew me well because like I told you, my parents were his devotees. So he knew me by name, by my parents and everybody. So there used to be a extra affection because I was a second generation devotee. So staying with him was really fascinating because I never experienced that kind of attention and affection, and at the same time the strictness. And I attended that 45 days camp. Imagine he conducts meditation class in Himalayas for 45 days. What would be that experience to be there early morning? 5 o'clock he would call us up there, and the brahmacharis at the time would do the Vedic chanting, and 5:30 he would walk into the hall and hold a meditation class. 5:30 in the morning in the Himalayas, sit there with him who has experienced the divine. And 45 days of that kind of an experience was very intense. And 3 lectures he was doing on Viveka Chudamani. That was the text. So imagine 4.5 hours lecturing and half an hour meditation was a program daily fixed. Apart from that, study group, discussions what we had, group discussions, or being around him, all that were different. But that was very impactful experience for me, and that's when I think I made my mind clear that I should join the monastery. And in a year's time I went there.
And how old were you then?
23.
Oh, amazing. And since then, when if you look back, since then, how has been the journey, and what has been your journey since then?
Prachyam is about dedicating to revive our rich cultural heritage, the essence of Bharat. We are bringing to life the echoes of our glorious past.
We need organizations like Prachyam.
It is old as well as the new rise.
प्राच्यम हिंदू के गौरव की गाथा गाता है.
60 साल में हमने जो खोया विरासत के रूप में, संस्कृति के रूप में, उसको वापस लाने का काम कर रहे हैं.
Our mission goes beyond creating content. We are sparking a cultural renaissance.
प्राच्यम एक उत्तिष्ठत का नाद है.
हिंदू समाज को जोड़ने के लिए और सच्चाई दिखाने का काम प्राच्यम द्वारा हो रहा है.
कई दशकों की एक आवश्यकता को प्राच्यम पूरा कर रहा है.
Prachyam is putting out is an urgent civilization imperative.
गुलामी की मानसिकता अगर कहीं पर भी अंदर धसी हुई हो ना, उसको उखाड़ फेंकने का काम प्राच्यम का कंटेंट करता है.
Launching the world's first Hindu OTT platform is just the beginning. We have much more to achieve.
पूरा जन सत्य से, तथ्य से और यथार्थ से परिचित होगा.
आपका ये प्रयत्न ईश्वर की आराधना ही है.
काउंटर नैरेटिव का आंदोलन आरंभ हो चुका है.
Prachyam is doing an excellent job to give you knowledge which you don't get in school.
I absolutely love it.
I'm very happy to be a part of the Prachyam family.
I extend my best wishes to you and your entire team.
एक बहुत बड़ी सनातन की सेवा हो रही है. उसके लिए मैं हृदय से प्राच्यम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ.
Your support can turn this vision into reality.
Prachyam.
Prachyam
is doing a very, very good job.
We Sanatanis need Prachyam.
People are going back to their roots.
It's important for our country.
Arm yourself with the knowledge.
It's almost like a movement.
This is a visionary endeavor.
प्राच्यम को सफलता के लिए साधुवाद.
Amazing job.
Strongly recommend do your contribution.
Support them, subscribe them.
By donating to Prachyam, you are just not giving. You are investing in our culture, our future, and our children.
Reaching out to the people with the results of the research, I wish them all the very best.
Join us on this journey. Donate today and become part of a timeless legacy.
For someone walking in this path, you should be anchored in something. For any seeker, because this path is like walking on a razor's edge. Extreme alertness should be there. And you should be deeply anchored. Then you will sail through any storms coming on your way. So, for me, the anchor was Gurudev himself, number one. Then he showed me Bharat. And I understood what Bharat he wanted to be. So, like he was one of those rare, like Samartha Ramdas or like Vivekananda. These are all nationalistic saints. There are so many saints, different types. But there were some people of nationalist interest. Gurudev was a nationalist, a saint with a nationalistic vision. Just like Vivekananda or like Samartha Ramdas. They worked for larger. That's why even Chinmaya Mission pledge, Gurudev used to tell us to pledge every day, the service to the country is the service to the Lord of Lords. Look at the line. Desha Bhakti is nothing but Deva Bhakti. So you need to anchor. So I anchored in my Guru. I anchored in the Desha Bhakti. These two were powerful anchors to wade through life. So the journey, if you are anchored, it's joy. Even if there are challenges which come on your way, things come, you laugh at it, you handle it. You look at it playfully because your anchoring is very strong. And so, in short, if I have to tell you what he has actually taught us is self-unfoldment through study and seva. In short, if you have to say what Chinmaya Mission does, what Chinmaya Mission does is self-unfoldment. You unfold yourself. You learn to live your life to your full potential. Self-unfoldment through study of Shastra. And seva to the Desh, to the nation. So, self-unfoldment through study and seva. So, my journey was only this way, and I found the results of that kind of a seva, what it does to you. How you calm down actually, how the mind apprehends things, how it slows down. So when I teach also, I teach people saying, listen, there was a master who walked on this earth. Anchor with him and love this nation, you will find your way through. That's what I tell the young sadhus who walk, or even the youngsters who come into our mission. I tell them, these are the two anchoring you should have. And study is the Sanatan Dharma, Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. If you're anchored in knowledge, anchored in devotion, and anchored in action, karma, service to the nation. So, anchored in Shastra, Karma Yoga is for the country, Jnana Yoga is for the knowledge which you gain through Shastra, and heart is full of devotion to the Guru, to the Ishta Devata. If you have this combination, I think a seeker will find his way. And all those who are anchored in this, their journey was quite smooth. Not much challenging. But you work with the Sattvic vision. You understand certain issues from different states of India, how they are, how one is treated in different states. When you work across the country, you really need to know. So when you go to Bengal, you should know how you have to work in Bengal. Or when you go to Kerala, you have to understand what it is to work in Kerala. or where I come from, Tamil Nadu, what it is to be in Tamil Nadu and work for Sanatan Dharma. So you need to study that and all that you get, because you are quite anchored, and then therefore the challenges are there, but the sattvic support comes there. The mind able to understand, and you make a perfect balance.
Beautiful, Swamiji. I think you just gave a very great mantra to our audience who would watch this podcast. With a heart full of devotion, you do the Jnana Yoga, for self upliftment, unfoldment, and you do the Karma Yoga for your nation, for your Rashtra. I mean, this is a great, great mantra in itself, And this is the essence of what Gurudev taught you.
Yes, 100%.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can relate with it because I also try to emulate that in my life, with this devotion in my heart, I try to do, for my nation. But I'm sure that our audience who would be watching this would really benefit from this, this essence of Gurudev's teachings. So Swamiji, I was asking you, did Gurudev initiate you in the monastic order?
There's a strange invite I got once. I won't name the organization. They called me to come for their inauguration of one of their big institutes. The Swami called and said, when were you initiated? And it was like, I was around 34 or something that time. So I just said this way, you're so young. Then I shared this as a conversation that they were surprised. They invited me. They thought I'm a very old man. The name was known, but actually I was young. So I was sharing this with one of our sannyasins in the mission. So that person said, you should have told him that you were initiated as a child. Since I came into the family. Okay?
Absolutely.
But yes, I had a long journey with Gurudev, and my Brahmachari Diksha. See, in Sandipani, in Chinmaya Mission, you need to be a graduate to join the monastery. First qualification. Gurudev said that there should be some educational background.
Beautiful.
So to communicate and to take the work for the modern world. So you need to be a graduate, first thing. So after that, you are trained for 2 years in the Sandipani. And when you're trained, you are given yellow garb, yellow color, and that's called Brahmachari Diksha. Then later you are initiated into sannyas, which would be almost like 7-8 years after. So mine was like, I joined only in 89, the Vedanta course, Sandipani monastery, and it got over in 91. And so the Brahmachari Diksha, the name and the Diksha was given by Swamiji, by Gurudev, and he passed away in 93, but sannyas happened much later.
Beautiful. And your parents, they were just okay with this?
This is interesting. My mom passed away in 1987, and I think she would have opposed. If I had voiced this out, she would have strongly opposed, not allowed me, because I'm the only son. I have an elder sister and I'm the only son. But when she passed away, and I joined in 89, my dad was well tuned to Gurudev, and my sister was also very encouraging. And actually in our family, among the friends and all that, they thought she would go and join the monastery. Okay. And they never thought I would go in. But it so happened that I went, and she took the path of the householder. So I remember somewhere in 89, I went to drop my dad in the railway station. That's when I told him, like he was suspecting I would go, because there were communications between me and Gurudev. And Gurudev also said that he shows interest for this. He was talking to my dad. But my father never posed any pressure on me. Don't go, or why are you going? Nothing. So at some time I have to break it to him. So it was in Chennai, Egmore railway station. I went to drop him. He was going to a place called Tuticorin. So in the platform, I looked at him and I said, when you come back home, I won't be there. I would have gone to Sandipani. That's the first time Officially, I was breaking the news. Till then, there was only doubts. He also thought I may go, I may not go. But then here now, so his first question, you spoke to Gurudev? I said, yeah. What did he say? He said, come. He was quiet for a while. And I'm sure you understand the intensity behind that statement, that I won't be there when you come back.
Absolutely.
So he was quiet for a while, and then he was such a sport. And being Swamiji's, Gurudev's follower, so he just said, go. It's a good attempt. Not all people attempt this. You go. In case you find it hard, come back, I'll be there.
Oh.
So that's a loving father. So he was all supportive.
Oh.
You go ahead with
How
anything.
nice.
You go there, I'm supporting you. If you come back, I'll support you. That can. So I didn't have issues from the parents' side. They allowed me to go.
Amazing. You're truly blessed. And what were your thoughts, when you were going to Sandeepni? I mean, what was the thought, that was prevalent in your mind?
Strange you're asking this question, because last week only I was discussing with one of the guys, one of the youngsters, who is writing a book with me on motorcycle.
Oh.
So I'm doing a book on motorcycle and the Gita. Okay. When I left home, Chennai, and Sandeepani is in Bombay. So I went on a motorcycle.
Oh.
Solo ride. Chennai to Mumbai.
Achha.
Yeah.
That's a long...
1,000+ kilometers.
Oh.
And in between I stopped in Bangalore because Gurudev had a camp there. So I went there, I was with Gurudev for 3 days, and then I went to join the Sandeepani. So this ride was really special because you're passing through a bus stand, this bus stand is past. You're not going to come back there. You're passing through a tea stall where you would have hanged around, and then hey, this is over. And then you take every milestone you cross on the road, it's like this part of you is done. Over. So it's a very lovely ride. And my idea of going to Sandeepani to join the monastery was like, I'm going and I'm not going to come back. So I burnt literally all the bridges to come back. It's like, no, I'm not going to come back after. Once I go, I'm done. It's only moving forward. There's no question of going and studying few Upanishads, come back home and then decide, no.
Oh.
I said, I go.
You were clear, it was clear in your mind.
It was very clear.
And that's how you were saying it very symbolically, that as the things were passing by,
it's like
you knew that this is gone.
This is gone.
Yeah.
This part
You're
of
not
it is
going to come
gone.
back.
It's gone.
Oh,
so
amazing.
that, I think, it's a very anxious and enjoyable movement. Because you're going for something and you're dealing with everything you're dropping, and things dropped.
Very powerful.
Yeah, it was that way. So it was a lovely ride from Chennai to Bombay solo. And of course, 3 days I stayed with Gurudev in Bangalore.
I mean, as a filmmaker, I would love to make a film on this. How cinematic and how powerful, how symbolic. Amazing. Thank you for sharing this. I always wanted to ask you, and I thought, I will ask you on my show, about, this part of your life, It's a very enriching experience for me, Swamiji, to have you here in our studio and to listen to you. Such amazing experiences of your life, of your life journey. You are so blessed, I mean, truly blessed, if I have to say, that you got an opportunity to spend so much time with Gurudev in person. If I may ask you, what were those most close, intimate moments with Gurudev which are still etched in your memory, if you would like to recall and share with us?
I would say every moment is special, but there are few, certainly. He's a very compassionate person. Not all can understand his compassion, because it doesn't show. You need to be a little intense and deep to get his level of compassion, even to get a glimpse. We were a bunch of, I was part of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, very active, and we were a bunch of youngsters, and our hobby was racing, motorcycle, two-wheeler. So we used to do racing, actually, few of us, and one day we had this idea that when he comes to Chennai, we will have a motorcade for his car. like a pilots. Like there's one bike in the front and then there are two bikes, his car and two more bikes. So 5 or 7 youngsters, I think. We said, we will do this.
How cute.
So we went and approached our trustees and committee. They said, nothing doing, don't do all this. Risky on the road, what are you talking? And Swamiji's name will get, Gurudev's name will get unnecessarily dragged. You guys don't do this. But we said, this is a deep urge and it looked nice. So we said, we'll do it, and then if Gurudev fires, we'll take it. Like if he screams or if he says anything. So he landed in the airport and we all went there. And that we used to always do. Whenever Gurudev comes, we'll go. Some of us were there. Even first year college, second year college, I used to be there in the airport, and so was my friends in the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. So we decided we'll do it. So we wore a white t-shirt, a blue jean, orange scarf, orange flag on the bike, and a black helmet.
Oh.
This was our uniform. So we just went there, like without the scarf and the helmet. We went there and we received him. And we were to, like, as his car was about to start, we left. We came to where the bikes were parked, put on a scarf and the helmet and all that. And then as his car left the airport, we took the positions, whatever we planned. 7 bikes and his car is in between, and we breezed through the city. And it's like people don't even know. The motorcycles had lights on, and before the police could realize, anybody could realize we were passing through, and it was all home flags. So they were like, through, we breezed through. Probably you saved 15 minutes of the time, or 20 minutes. Now imagine 20 minutes time from Chennai airport to the place where Gurudev was is really fast if you save 20 minutes time there. So when we reached, he liked it because we saved time. He said, you guys are smart. And that was it. Like I said, when he said, you guys are smart, all those people who said earlier, don't, they were like, hurry, he liked it. Okay. Now why I was telling you this is, he knew we were a bunch of quite crazy youngsters, wild motorcycle riders. And that was our passion. He allowed us to hang around him with that passion. Because otherwise we won't hang around. We would leave. But he knew that these guys are crazy, but there is a potential. He saw some potential in all of us. And he said, if they're interested in motorcycle, not many would take. Because as a teenager or as a young adult, 20 years old, you can knock somebody on the road. The speed in which you go on careless riding. And all that name would reflect on him. But he did allow us. Now this kind of compassion, not all will know it. Anyone would have been safer, like saying it's risky, don't. Okay, you guys did one, stop it. But he said, these guys are crazy. Okay, he said, let's do it. You guys come. Now for the rest of the talks, he was in Chennai for 8 days. And rest of the talks, morning class, evening class, in between, wherever he went, we were with our bikes. And we used to escort him through the city. It was such a fascinating experience. We used to call ourselves pilots, like a pilot. Yeah. But he used to call us escort.
Okay.
So he used to call us escort. So before starting, he's saying, where are my escorts?
Oh, nice.
The truth
what a
is,
compassion.
The truth is, till today, we are escorted by him.
Absolutely.
That's the grace, but he used to call us escorts, and we used to do this. And imagine 8 days he was in the city. And all 8 days, morning class, evening class, in between any meeting, anywhere he went, or to somebody's house, hosted him for a breakfast or lunch, we were with him. It was almost like, except a sleeping time from 11 to morning 5, we were not there. Otherwise, we were with him most of the time. Afternoon, probably for 2 hours, we wouldn't have been with him. The rest of the time, we were there. So in my understanding, it would be almost like 17, 18 hours, we were just with him because of this crazy duty which we took on ourselves, going with him on the bikes, escorting his car. And that cleared the road, he cleared the traffic. Sometimes he would delay, he won't start to the lectures, and he was known for his punctuality. He won't start, so the host who was driving him will say, Swamiji, getting late. My boys are there? Don't worry. So these guys will take us through, that way. So that was such a brilliant experience, which only a very compassionate man would allow. Saying, that's your vasana, that's your desire, hang around me, you will change.
Prachyam is about dedicating to revive our rich cultural heritage, the essence of Bharat. We are bringing to life the echoes of our glorious past.
We need organizations like Prachyam.
It is old as well as the new rise.
प्राच्यम हिंदू के गौरव की गाथा गाता है।
60 साल में हमने जो खोया विरासत के रूप में, संस्कृति के रूप में, उसको वापस लाने का काम कर रहे हैं।
Our mission goes beyond creating content. We are sparking a cultural renaissance.
प्राच्यम एक उत्तिष्ठत का नाद है।
हिंदू समाज को जोड़ने के लिए और सच्चाई दिखाने का काम प्राच्यम द्वारा हो रहा है।
कई दशकों की एक आवश्यकता को प्राच्यम पूरा कर रहा है।
Prachyam is putting out is an urgent civilization imperative.
गुलामी की मानसिकता अगर कहीं पर भी अंदर धसी हुई हो ना, उसको उखाड़ फेंकने का काम प्राच्यम का कंटेंट करता है।
Launching the world's first Hindu OTT platform is just the beginning. We have much more to achieve.
पूरा जन जन सत्य से, तथ्य से और यथार्थ से परिचित होगा।
आपका ये प्रयत्न ईश्वर की आराधना ही है।
काउंटर नैरेटिव का आंदोलन आरंभ हो चुका है।
Prachyam is doing an excellent job to give you knowledge which you don't get in school.
I absolutely love it.
I'm very happy to be a part of the Prachyam family.
I extend my best wishes to you and your entire team.
एक बहुत बड़ी सनातन की सेवा हो रही है, उसके लिए मैं हृदय से प्राच्यम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
Your support can turn this vision into reality.
Prachyam.
Prachyam is doing a very, very good job.
We Sanatanis need Prachyam.
People are going back to their roots.
It's important for our country.
Arm yourself with the knowledge.
It's almost like a movement.
This is a visionary endeavor.
प्राच्यम को सफलता के लिए साधुवाद।
Amazing job.
Strongly recommend do your contribution.
Support them, subscribe them.
By donating to Prachyam, you are just not giving. You are investing in our culture, our future, and our children.
Reaching out to the people with the results of the research, I wish them all the very best.
Join us on this journey. Donate today and become part of a timeless legacy.
So he allowed. So on the last day of the talks got over, I extended the Bhagavad Gita as Yajna Prasad which we received. One holy Gita, I gave it to him for autograph. The date was 30th September 1987. He took the book, he looked at me, then he signed, Escort. And he signed, gave an autograph on that. I took the book, almost we were all in tears, and he was getting into his room. It should be around 10:30 in the night. He was going into his room, and the motorcade group was just standing there saying, tomorrow morning is gone. And I told you, 17, 18 hours, if you get to be with him for 8 days, do you know what it is to be with a Shrotriya and a Brahmanishta? It's like being with the divine, you understand? So almost everyone was in tears. I was the last guy by his door. So as he was going in, I opened the door, and now the door has to be closed. He stopped there, looked at me, and he said, tomorrow onwards, you escort your mind towards him.
Oh.
If obstacles come, say move.
Oh, beautiful.
See, on the road when we were driving, if anybody comes on the road, a car or a lorry, our words would be move, 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 and they'll clear it up. And he was saying that. That's the word we were saying, always move,
Absolutely.
move. So here he was telling, he said, tomorrow onwards, you escort your mind towards him.
How
if
sublime.
obstacles come, say move, they will obey.
Oh.
It's like a rishi giving you a boon and going. The feeling was that. Is that not the truth? After all the studies of the Upanishad and like the Bhagavad Gita and all that, end of it, to find your path, you need to escort your mind. The mind will go here, there. You have to escort it. Escort it towards him. Don't allow it to go here, there. I think it was a most powerful line, made the biggest impact because it was personal to the situation, personally conveyed. Escort your mind towards him. And that was, I would consider that as a moment in time for me. It's like on motorcycle, you drive and this man can give you a Upanishadic mantra, vision, that you do this from tomorrow, you will find your way, basically. That's how, that's why I said it's to understand him is like, not all can understand his compassion. Because that's one of the crazy things we had. Probably we would have gone off if that opportunity was not there to be with him for 17, 18 hours. But he knew his presence can make such an influence that you should be available. And today you guys are crazy. You're available with a bike. Okay, be around. That's what I meant, you know, like not all will understand because everyone will be trying to be very cautious, safe. And he was not bothered about it. The risk he took that we could damage his image, we can file a case. I mean, somebody can, if we knock down somebody and imagine that there's a case on it, the whole organization would be dragged and because of teenagers. And yet he allowed. That's where I said, the risk factor what he takes, you know, not all will understand. It came from that very deep compassion that if youngsters are available this way, I'll be there for them.
Just escorting him led you, you know, to, you know, such a great path, and the great work that you have been doing, you know, with his blessings.
100%.
You see, this is amazing, you know.
Yeah,
this is
100%,
how invisibly and in what a sublime way Guru, he guides, you know, people.
I have tasted the grace. I know it. What it is to have his grace. And I have tasted being with the divine. One who knows divinity. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of divinity becomes divine. I was fortunate to be with a person who was divine, who knew what divinity is, and he played around us and we were fortunate to be there, definitely.
I can absolutely relate with it, Swamiji, because I myself was very blessed, you know.
Correct.
My Guru, coincidentally, his name was Swami Shivananda.
Oh, lovely.
From Kashi.
Okay.
And he was a Brahmanishta. And you see, if you remember, I was a marine officer, you know, and I used to, in my vacations, you know, I used to spend my whole day with him, from morning till night. And I can so much relate with what you're saying. I think those moments were the best moments of my life. And that experience, I cannot put it in words. You know, the bliss I just felt in his presence. I mean, it cannot be described, it cannot be put in words, but it was a great bliss, you know, it was a great, as if radiating from him, coming to me, you know. Whatever I learned about Bharat, you know, the great parampara of rishis, you know, Gyan, Vijnana, Darshan, Jyotish, Tantra, anything, you know, it was his grace that I learned under his feet, and for many years. And when I look back, you know, those are the most precious moments of my life. And they're deeply etched.
Correct.
They're deeply etched, you know, and every moment of my life, you know, I'm just eternally grateful to my Guru for, you know, having graced me, having blessed me, you know, and making me what I am today, you know. And this is what I say, that the greatest love in this world can only be between a Guru and Shishya. You know, his purity of love cannot be compared with anything else, because it's so selfless. A Guru only knows how to give, you know, and he will take care of everything, you know, of your entire well-being. How wonderful, amazing, you know, to listen to
the first time I heard about you, I think we met in Bangalore.
Yeah, in Bangalore, yeah.
We met in Bangalore.
Yeah.
The first time I heard about you was like a guy who was a captain in America, captaining a ship, wanted to come and make movies and documentaries on Indian culture, because I love sailing.
I know that.
I love sailing. I take my silence going into the sea. For me, being in the sea is the next best moment after Gurudev.
I know, same with me.
That's because
you
are there in the sea.
Oh, yes.
Up you look, it is infinity.
Infinity.
Any side you turn, it is infinity. Blue. Something which has no boundaries. And to sail in us, you know, for a Vedantic student,
Oh, yes.
That's a great place to be, because all sides you turn and it is infinite. In the night, you see the sky is infinite. Daytime, you see there's no end. So I was like fascinated. I said, yeah, this man I want to meet. There's something which we would cherish for sure.
You're right, and I think the greatest thing that I miss when I look back on my marine career is the sea. Because sea has given me so much.
Yes.
It has given me the solitude. It gave me the opportunity to do my sadhana. And the best sadhana you can do is out at sea. It gave me a chance to read a lot, to write, to introspect, to reflect upon, So much, the sea has given me. So I can absolutely relate.
See, that's like, for me, the sea is like floating in the infinity.
Oh, so
you're floating in infinity, right? You're a speck. And it also teaches you you're a speck. Nobody.
Absolutely.
So the vast infinite ocean in which you are such a tiny speck. And as a sailor, you would know the stars we never see in the land, what we see in the sea.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So it's like
absolutely
blue all over, and it's infinity.
Blue, absolutely. And nature in its most purest form.
Correct.
The sunrise and the sunset that you see out at sea,
Correct.
You won't see it anywhere.
Correct.
The breeze, the fresh air that you find there,
correct,
it is incomparable.
Yeah.
You are in the mid of the nature. You are in the lap of nature.
And the graceful dolphins come out and splash. It's a sight. It's a sight. And they are not the tamed ones, domesticated. They're wild.
They're wild.
And a wild dolphin swimming with such a grace is to me it's like art in motion.
You're right.
And it's a fascinating sight.
You're right.
So if the comparison would be like the first experience was with the best of the best moments apart from your family with whom you grew up is with your guru and some very intimate friends we have. Otherwise, I would say it's the sea is the best moment.
Wow, very well said. How true this is. I can so much relate with you.
You can understand it.
I can understand because I've lived those moments.
Yeah.
And as you said,
the gorgeous sunsets and the sunrise, you can't see it in the land.
You can't see it. And you see the entire universe above you and at night. With so much of clarity.
You know how this is. It's in the mornings, it's like the Milky Ocean where Vishnu stays. I see it that way. Because early morning the sea looks white as the sun comes up. Then after sometimes it's like the color of the Shiva.
Very well said.
Yeah. So give a chance I would go, and I would go only in a cargo ship. Because there's hardly 14-member crew and what do you call that? Supernumerary.
Supernumerary.
Supernumerary. I used to go as supernumerary.
Okay.
And brilliant times.
I would love to go back, as a captain supernumerary.
I think we should go sometime.
We should go sometime. I would love to actually.
Go on a cargo ship again.
I really miss it. If you ask me, I really miss it. Sometimes, why I loved, Tarangini.
Prachyam should make one
film
on Vedantic meditativeness in the sea.
Oh, such a great thought,
Yeah, Prachyam should do that. I'm sure it would inspire many people to go and venture into the sea and see it as God.
Such a great thought, We would definitely do it, And this is what I'm saying, since I miss the sea so much, that is why I love Tarangini,
Yeah.
I was like, I was back home.
Yeah, correct.
And sometimes, and to tell you very frankly, when I miss sea, really very much, I go on the seashore, I stand, not in those crowded beaches,
correct.
but in a place of solitude. I just go there and I talk to the sea. I talk to him. I feel like as if, he's talking to me. And I just spend some time, and when this communication is over, I come back, full, again, absolutely rejuvenated. So that's what I have always felt.
In Vedanta, we say Sakshi, witness. is also called sometimes as seer. Seen, seer. See, seer. Seer is also saint sometimes.
Saint, yeah.
Right. So see, seer.
Beautiful. Very well said. Amazing. Swamiji, moving on, I always thought I would ask you this. The fountainhead, of the great monastic order, the Dashnami Parampara that we have in Bharat, was the greatest, saint, greatest Rishi, greatest Swami, greatest Acharya. Was Acharya Shankar, as people call him, Adi Guru-Shankaracharya. I know that you have envisioned a great film on his life, and you had shared with me that script that you had written, and the work is on, I know, and I'm sure it'll be a great film. And I'm so blessed that you made me also a part of that team, which is working on this. It's a great feeling. But unfortunately, and as you know, because of our education system that we had in our country, not only before independence, but post-independence as well, we carried on with the same colonial mindset and, the same English education system in this country. And we have made a film on this, Sahibs and, the Guru-Shishya Parampara. It's very disheartening that people and the students and the young generation and the new generation, they don't know much about such great people. And especially, there's not enough discussion about Acharya Shankar in this country. But if you see the contribution, it is immense. I think the greatest contribution that any one individual has made in millenniums, it is Acharya Shankar. In so many ways. And you belong to the same tradition. I would like to know your thoughts, your perception about Acharya Shankar.
I was in Chennai, born in Chennai. Till I was really introduced into Vedantic texts by Gurudev, let's say somewhere close to 17 or 18 years of age, I did not even hear this name called Shankara, Adi Shankara.
I know.
Coming from Chennai, which is a traditional capital you can call.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't hear. Now that's the level of neglect and ignorance in Bharat. So it was Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji said, Adi Shankara is the fittest spiritual general Hinduism has ever found. Now, for a person like Gurudev to say that, fittest spiritual general that Hinduism has ever found. So he is the man. And luckily for me, I was introduced to Shankara by Gurudev himself. And it is him. Gurudev took Shankara's message to all the continents. Be it Africa, be it America, be it Australia, Far East, Middle East. The books like Atmabodh, Bhajagovindam, Vivek Chudamani, Aparokshanubhuti, Vyakyavriti. These are the texts which Gurudev used to take almost every day in the morning class. And through him, this message, or at least the texts of Advaita philosophy, has reached out many, many continents. And for me personally, it is him who introduced. I've heard him talking about Adi Shankara. There are tapes which we have today, even videos, where Gurudev speaks about Shankara. So for me, I got an intro into one of the greatest minds by another mind who admired him as the greatest spiritual. Now that's something, see, one of us can talk, that's easy. But someone who knows what is divinity, and that person speaks about what Shankara is a very impactful experience. And but for Shankara, that way, what would have been our condition today? You look at the temples, the major temples in the country renovated by him and brought in the Puja Vidhi.
Absolutely.
Whether it is Puri in the eastern side, or whether it is Panduranga temple in the western side, or Kedar Badri in the north, Rameshwaram, Kanyakumari, Thiruvananthapuram, Guruvayur, Chidambaram, Meenakshi Amman temple of Tiruvannamalai, Kanchipuram, Tirupati. You name any of these temples, you will find Shankara's signature.
Sure.
Until today, his commentary stands as an authority for any seeker of spiritual science, Advaita philosophy. Shankara's commentary is the Praman.
Absolutely.
And by foot, one has walked across this country 4 times at least, east and west and north and south. 4 times, crisscrossing. What was a missionary zeal? And all this he was doing as he was a teenager. Never again we will find. So in one of the beautiful article which Gurudev has written is, when will this nation look at Shankara Jayanti as a national holiday? Someday we should recognize Shankara birth as a national holiday. The nation should celebrate Shankara. That today is the day of oneness, you know. So, yeah. So Ekatma Dham is also planning to push Shankara Jayanti as celebrating Shankara Jayanti as a decade of oneness. So, and it's really nice that Ekatma Dham, which you and I are part of today, thanks to Government of Madhya Pradesh, thanks to Shivraj ji and the President Mohan Yadav and other people who were involved, had this vision that there should be some befitting space which can do research on Advaita philosophy, which can inspire people, and rightly named as Ek Atma Dham, and that 108 feet statue indicating the oneness.
And at the right place.
Right place where he studied.
The Guru Sthan, of Acharya Shankara.
So that's something nice. And see, all the sannyasis of Chinmaya mission, including Gurudev, our surname is, you see the sannyas name is Saraswati. All of us there. It is Swami Chinmayananda Saraswati. Because Shivananji gave him. It was Swami Shivananda Saraswati. So that way we come under the Sharada Math of Sringeri Ashram. And like I was fortunate, I would say, that Shankara was introduced to me by my Guru. And the books of Shankara also I heard only from him. And so that way, the teaching and the person, both I learned from Gurudev. So I have learned from one of the best people of this century, taught me about Shankara and taught me about Bhaja Govindam, Advaita, Atma Bodh. These books we could hear from him directly.
Prachyam is about dedicating to revive our rich cultural heritage, the essence of Bharat. We are bringing to life the echoes of our glorious past.
We need organizations like Prachyam.
It is old as well as the new rise.
प्राच्यम हिंदू के गौरव की गाथा गाता है.
60 साल में हमने जो खोया, विरासत के रूप में, संस्कृति के रूप में, उसको वापस लाने का काम कर रहे हैं.
Our mission goes beyond creating content. We are sparking a cultural renaissance.
प्राच्यम एक उत्तिष्ठत का नाद है.
हिंदू समाज को जोड़ने के लिए और सच्चाई दिखाने का काम प्राच्यम द्वारा हो रहा है.
कई दशकों की एक आवश्यकता को प्राच्यम पूरा कर रहा है.
Prachyam is putting out is an urgent civilization imperative.
गुलामी की मानसिकता अगर कहीं पर भी अंदर धसी हुई हो ना, उसको उखाड़ फेंकने का काम प्राच्यम का कंटेंट करता है.
Launching the world's first Hindu OTT platform is just the beginning. We have much more to achieve.
पूरा जन सत्य से, तथ्य से और यथार्थ से परिचित होगा.
आपका ये प्रयत्न ईश्वर की आराधना ही है.
काउंटर नैरेटिव का आंदोलन आरंभ हो चुका है.
Prachyam is doing an excellent job to give you knowledge which you don't get in school.
I absolutely love it.
I'm very happy to be a part of the Prachyam family.
I extend my best wishes to you and your entire team.
एक बहुत बड़ी सनातन की सेवा हुई है. उसके लिए मैं हृदय से प्राच्यम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ.
Your support can turn this vision into reality.
Prachyam.
Prachyam is doing a very, very good job.
We Sanatanis need Prachyam.
People are going back to their roots.
It's important for our country.
Arm yourself with the knowledge.
It's almost like a movement.
This is a visionary endeavor.
प्राच्यम को सफलता के लिए साधुवाद.
Amazing job.
Strongly recommend do your contribution.
Support them, subscribe them.
By donating to Prachyam, you are just not giving. You are investing in our culture, our future, and our children.
reaching out to the people with the results of the research. I wish them all the very best.
Join us on this journey. Donate today and become part of a timeless legacy.